First thing that we're going to do is we're going to build our base for our calendar. My base is a strip of cardboard 16 inches by 4 1/4. It's going to be scored at 5 inches, 5 inches, 3 inches, and then the last part will be another 3 inches. When we score it, it'll turn into a triangle like this. We're going to cover it in strips of light scrapbook paper, glue those down. We're going to punch holes for our binder rings that are going to go in like this. The binder rings will hold our calendar pages in place and allow us to flip them over. Very simple. So I'll show you how I score my piece of cardboard. I'm going to score at 5 inches, and then I'm going to score at 5 inches again. So you can see I'm just using the cutting blade from my paper trimmer, and when I fold it, it's only cutting through the first layer, so the back layer is intact. So I'm going to do the next 5 inches. And I'm going to do 3 inches. And then the last 3 inches is already that exact size that I need. So as you can see, when I fold this over, I'm going to have a triangle that looks like this. And now I'm going to cover all of this with scrapbook paper so that it looks finished like this, so you can't see all of the corrugated cardboard, and just so that it looks nice and finished. I've gone ahead and cut out my strips of scrapbook paper, and I used just some lightweight paper from the Heirloom Stack with DCWV. It's really lightweight, and for Harry Potter it has sort of a parchment look, so I wanted something a little bit light. All of the Harry Potter paper that I have is a heavy scrapbook paper, and I found that the heavy paper doesn't wrap around as nicely. It doesn't get a nice tight fit. So what we're going to do is we're going to glue our 5-inch strip at the 5-inch mark, the next 5-inch at the 5-inch mark, the 3-inch strip, and the 3-inch strip. And then we have a strip of 12 by 4 1/2 that we're going to wrap around the top when it's all finished. I use art glitter glue. I just find that it's the best glue for my paper crafting. It doesn't warp the paper, and it dries really fast, and it dries really strong, so it adheres well. I buy it off of Amazon, and I've been told that you have to order it in warm months. They can't ship it to cold locations in the winter. So I'm just going to find about a midpoint and glue that down. This is going to be the front. I'm just going to fold it over as tightly as I can. Try to get a nice crease and really pull it tight. I try to get to the outside of the paper as much as possible, just so it adheres nicely and doesn't start pulling up. Okay, that's the first 5-inch section. Now we're going to do the next 5-inch section. Okay, so now we have our first set of papers glued on at 5, 5, 3, and 3. So you can see we have a nice covered holder for our calendar, but we still have these corrugated areas, and I don't think they look very nice. So we're actually going to wrap another piece around and have it attach at the bottom to cover up those lines that I don't like. But first we're going to need to punch holes in our base so that it looks like this for our calendar pages to sit in. So what I do each time is I just figure out on the base where I want my holes and I just mark them. And then I'm going to use a hole punch. You could use whatever kind of hole punch you wanted. I have this hole punch from Memory Makers. I've had it for years. It came in this case. I probably had it since my son was a baby, so he's 23 now, so it's been around a while. It's making memories, and I don't know if they still make them or not, but it's a great set. So I'm just going to line up my punch on the hole and use the little hammer. And like I said, you can use any kind of hole punch that you have. Hasn't quite gone all the way through. Sorry for the shake of the camera. And I use a crochet hook just to push the holes in nicely so it looks nice and smooth. And we're going to do the exact same thing on the other side. So I just take my marker and mark where the holes should be on the other side so they match. There's my holes made. Now when we cover this up, we're going to need to punch another hole, but I just use my crochet hook and we cover it up. That way my holes are already made and I don't have to worry about it. We're going to glue this triangle together, so we're going to glue right in here before we wrap it all the way with paper. And I just try to line it up just as nice and straight as I possibly can. And I'm just going to press it together really nice. Give it a nice firm press. I'm going to hold it for a while just to let it get a really good grip with the glue. Okay. That looks good. So now I'm going to start at the bottom and I'm just going to wrap this around just because I want to hide as much of that corrugated cardboard as see that those joined lines are at the bottom, so it's just not something you can see. You could always put another square piece down here at the bottom just to line it up if you wanted. You can get rid of these lines, but it's really not going to be very noticeable. So here we have our triangle with all of the sides covered in paper. So when all of your papers are on there, you're not going to really notice this so much. This is a different calendar that I made, and you can see it's just, you don't really see the holder when you're displaying your calendar. So if it's not perfect, it's okay. Just do the best that you can. So now I need to put my holes back in. So I just use my crochet hook to find the hole, and I just poke in. Make sure you're poking in so that it gets a nice clean hole. I like to twist it a little bit just to smooth it out. And there we go. So when we put our calendar together, we'll put our binder rings on to hold our calendar, and it'll work perfectly. I have my first page of the calendar here. There we go. Looks nice.